All right, what is going on, guys? Let's hunt some NBA props. So we're going to go through each game. I'm going to start with the spreads and just see kind of what we're looking with, and then we're going to look into the injury reports, and we'll kind of go from there. So looking at the first game, Magic and the Wizards, 7.5 spread. Magic on the road. Wizards are terrible. I don't know if I can take any over, like literally. Not sure I can trust that. So we'll keep that in mind. Rockets in the Heat. God, 5.5 feels off. I said Rockets haven't looked good. I think Amin Thompson's supposed to come back tonight. So, all right. Nothing crazy here. I mean, T-Wolves, Pelicans. I think we'll probably stay away from Pelicans. Anything on the over unless it really stands out. Decent game. Spurs and the 76ers. Two terrible teams. Hornets and the Thunder. 19.5. Jesus. I mean, that makes sense, though. Hornets coming off freaking Knicks, dude. Good God, the Knicks are bad. But it'll be a back-to-back for the Hornets. So unlikely LaMelo plays. I think we can pretty much pencil that in. Bridges, probably a huge question mark to play. So that makes sense in my opinion. All right, Pistons and the Mavs. Okay. Might be some opportunities in that game. Celtics and the Jazz. I mean, it's highly likely at this point. We don't know who's going to be starting for either team, so not really sure I can trust anything there. Cavs and the Suns. Okay, I see an avenue there. I don't mind that. 8.5. That's reasonable. Cavs need a bounce back game, so I could see them playing somewhat hard tonight, and the Suns have just absolutely sucked, but they're getting to that desperation mode where they got to win. Nuggets and the Trailblazers. Nuggets getting 1.5. No Jokic. No Jokic. That's pretty much exactly what that tells you. Grizzlies and the Clippers. Clips getting 6.5. So Ja Morant. No Ja Morant. Okay. Let's take a peek, see at the old starting lineup, see what we're working with here. All right. So, come on, man. What is happening? There we go. Let's see. No Sadiq Bey. I mean, I don't think he's even played a game for them this year. Brogdon, Koulibaly's going to be out. That's interesting. So that's some rebounds that Koulibaly gets that are going to have to go somewhere else. Most likely, a guy like George would benefit from that. No Suggs. No Anthony. Okay. So, a pretty decent matchup on the Magic side. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the Magic's game. So if we're looking at that, there's nothing I really want to trust on the Wizards side. I mean, technically, Chris Middleton has a good matchup to get rebounds and assists. I imagine it's got to be pretty low, though. Because Sean George is the guy I want to focus on. I think he's the one that benefits the most from a rebounds perspective with Koulibaly being out. But, man, the books don't show it. If anything, the books are really not on board with that notion. So I think we pass on that. Is it Middleton? I just don't know if I can get behind anything Wizards over related. I'll be honest. I don't think that's happening. Yeah, still think I can pull the trigger on it. I mean, it's going to be a fairly low scoring game on their part. We know the Magic are going to play good D, but there is opportunities on the Wizards side to just go absolutely nuts. So, what's Wagner assist look like? Is it 3.5 or 4.5? 4.5. I was really hoping we might sneak a 3.5 in there. Rebounds 5.5. Really, I mean, it's reasonable. 5.5 is reasonable, and we're getting minus 135. Okay. I mean, maybe I could get down with that. I'm not sure. I don't know if I necessarily want to pigeonhole myself right into that right away. Got to think how this game will go, but that's an avenue. So I'm going to write down, I'll call it the watch list. That way I can keep track here. So we're going to do Wagner 5.5 rebounds. Although I think if we're going to do that, it's probably better to just take, 10.5, 9.5. Yeah, I don't love how the books are really hating the 10.5 over. That doesn't give me a ton of confidence. Points line for Wagner, 24.5. Seems light. but we really got a pretty shitty hit rate. Okay. Nothing I love there. Really not falling in love with taking him minus 135 when he's been getting the boards lately, and he does have a beautiful matchup. Positional hit rate, everything there does not look good. So that kind of bodes pretty heavily against taking that play. Something I want to keep in mind, though. All right, anything else I like in this one? Wendell Carter Jr. points. He's got a pretty nice matchup to get points tonight. 9.5. Man, that hit rate's terrible lately, though. That is a really bad hit rate. But, I mean, if you look at Sarr, he's not like... Sarr is like a shooting center. This guy's not great on the defensive side of the ball. So there's opportunities here. What are we looking at? I mean, Pinnacle really likes him. Bet Online is a big fan of this. Bovada's on board. So some of your sharper books like it. DraftKings is kind of in between. So I think there might be an avenue here. I just don't know if he's going to get the attempts. That's the thing. Like, this could end up being a blowout real fast. So do I trust that he'll get the playing time necessary? I mean, if you look at the games he's gone over, he's played 35, played 26, but he took 9 attempts, 5 for 9. What's he been doing recently? 7 attempts, 8 attempts, 7 attempts, 5, 13, and then a 4. But he only played 19 minutes, so I wonder if there was some injury issues there. So maybe not the best time to take him after he just had such a low minute usage in a game that they only lost by 8. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, nothing I really love here. I don't love taking the Magic offensively, and we know it's still going to be a somewhat low-scoring game. What's the over-under here? 215. Yeah, I just don't think I can get on board with that, man. I think that's a little bit too... yeah, there's just a lot of factors there, in my opinion, that I don't trust this team. So I think I'm going to fade this. Let's move on to the next game. Houston and Miami. In Miami, it's a terrible matchup for any Heat players, so I don't trust them. And you never really know who's going to be starting, right? Is Kelly Oubre going to start? I don't know. So I've been fading Adebayo for quite a while now because I don't know who the hell is going to start. So that's been an absolute fade for me. On the Houston side of the ball, let's see what we got. Sengun's got a good matchup for rebounds. My only concern is Amin Thompson might come back tonight. And if he does, then that negates any chance of him probably going over, because Amin Thompson loves to swipe his boards. But looks like the books are pretty unanimous on him going under. There is some value on DraftKings at minus 115 to fade his under. But if we look similar players and by position, it says taking the under is probably not the path here. Does have a bad matchup to get points. So if we're getting 20.5, 19.5, we got 18.5. 19.5 on DraftKings. Okay. I don't mind fading this, actually, with Thompson. See how he's done with games with Amin Thompson. Actually, not bad, especially as of late. If we look at the last 10 games he had with Amin, he absolutely crushed this line. Well, I think that's because he wasn't worrying about rebounding. He was just scoring points. So, not a great matchup there. 4.5 assists. How are we looking on the assist? Miami Heat give up the 5th fewest assists to the center position over the last 15 games. So, that said, 4.5 is a light amount for him. Similar players, 100% over. Positional hit rate, not great. Maybe his rebounds plus assist. Yeah, 15. 15.5 feels like a lot against the Heat team. Head down. Of course, he got 24 against them. What did he do last year? 12, 24. Okay, so probably not. Probably not going to fade him. Van Vliet's got a decent assist matchup. Hopefully it's 4.5, probably 5.5. Yeah. There is a big consensus that he is not going to go over his assist line. So, could fade him, but it's really juiced on pretty much every book. Rebound-wise, actually has a pretty decent matchup to get boards. If this were 2.5, I would be down. Could fade his rebounds plus assists, but I just think he probably has a good day. And 8.5 is not. 9.5, I'm on board. 8.5, I'm not fading him. Points-wise, what's he got? 12.5. He has a pretty bad matchup to get points, actually. Does not have the greatest matchup to get points. Positional hit rate, everything looks pretty bad here. Might be an avenue, but God, feels dangerous fading him. Feels a little dangerous. Always like to look at his threes and see if he's favored to go over or under. We can see the books do like him to go over 3 threes tonight. And typically when he misses his points prop, he misses his threes. The two are intertwined pretty heavily together. So that's a no there. Heat are giving up they're 27th in threes allowed to the point guard position over the last 15 games. So I don't think that's an avenue we want to take there. So fading his points would probably not be the smartest play all in all. Anything else I like? What's Amen Thompson's rebound line? It's actually, if it's posted, it might be worth fading him, honestly. I would assume, he's been out a week and a half? He's been out for a minute. He's actually been out 2 weeks. But I mean, if we look at his line, good God, let's just look at the last 15 games. That's an insane hit rate. He's over in 11 straight. So this tells me there's got to be some reduced minutes expected, or we just say screw it and think he's actually going to play the minutes. Pinnacle's not necessarily on board. DraftKings feels okay about it. FanDuel's a little stronger, the strongest opinions. FanDuel is a pretty sharp book. So that's one where I got to see his minutes. But the problem is, as soon as they come out and say he's going to play normal minutes, this line's going to shoot up through the roof. Assist. Man, he is ridiculously favored to go under his assist. I just don't know if I can get behind fading this guy. Every time I fade him, he has just like an insane night. So probably not the smartest play to fade him. Tyler Hero. I mean, I could see a full fade Tyler Hero. Fading his assist. At 5.5, no good. No bueno. Rebound line's at 4.5, so that's going to put him 10.5. Kind of like this. My brain kind of goes there right away that we should be fading this dude. Is it the right play? See if he's done against them. Yeah. He absolutely popped off. He had 13 rebound chances, 12 potential assists. Didn't have Butler, so really everything still stayed the same. What did he do last year against them? Yeah, he's had some good games against them. Probably not too smart. I really don't want to take unders tonight either. I just got a feeling it's Friday night, offensive showcase night. So nothing I can really get behind. Maybe Hero steals. What's his steal line at? We haven't done a steal bet in a long time. Steals plus blocks? No, there's just no value there. Davion Mitchell fading his assist. Maybe. This team doesn't give up a lot of assist. I don't know. I could maybe get behind fading him on the assist. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, so he still should see a... Oh, he actually played a ton of minutes. All right, no. Bam rebounds. No. Again, just don't know if Ware's going to play. There's nothing I love. This is a freaking fade game for me. All right, Pelicans and Minnesota. Let's see what we're working with here. Good, really, really good Gobert lines. If we look at Pelicans, 26th in points allowed to the center position, 30th in rebounds, 28th in assists. So let's see what old Rudy's got going on here. 9.5. This tells you blowout potential is ridiculously high, which makes sense. Although last couple games, Pelicans have been hanging with teams. So I could see them kind of hanging around a little bit in this one. Zion doesn't really have the best looking props. Alvarado might not be a bad one. He's been dishing out some assists. If we could get that at like 3.5. I'm kind of liking Rudy though. What's his points tonight? Kind of thinking like double-double. So he's over in 20 of his last 30. Let's look at his last 15. Over in 12 of 15 to get 10 or more points. Rudy, double-double is sticking out to me like a sore thumb here. I think there's some avenues there. I'm going to look, see what kind of odds we're getting here on a Rudy double-double. But I wouldn't mind that. Problem is, we know the blowout potential is like stupid high. But, I mean, the rate that they've been getting rebounds against the Pelicans is ridiculous. 14-point spread. let's look at his minutes. I would say in this one, he's probably going to get 28. Yeah. Let's say maybe he plays 30. Not as good on the points. Not as good on the rebounds. Oh, Jesus. Rudy Gobert double-double plus 140. That kind of tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. When we bump down his minutes, just because in a blowout, let's take a look at how many minutes he plays in a blowout. Pelicans, Rudy, let's say they win by 15 or more. I mean, he actually does better on points. How many minutes does he play? Still averaging, maybe we can go through and look, 25 to 30 minutes, so 28 conservatively, I would say. What about when they win by 10 or more? Oh my God. I'm not going to be able to get away from this. So I think 30 minutes is kind of the consensus we're seeing here. So what if we did like an alt line type of deal? What if we take Rudy to get his 10 points? I feel decent that he's going to get his 10 points. 10 points is minus 190. So we do the 10 points, and then let's bump him down. 10 points, 10 rebounds, plus 130. It's plus 130 if you build it manually, which sometimes I always like to do that because sometimes you'll get different numbers. This time it's not in a positive way, but I don't know. I think that's worth looking into. I'm going to put that just kind of on my watch list. I don't necessarily think I bet it now, although we're probably costing ourselves value by not betting it. But yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth on this one, man. Maybe we just take the rebounds. But the rebounds are pretty juiced now. So the rebounds are, where's he at? The hell, man. You can't bet his over under. You can just bet his over, which is kind of a weird thing. Now what we could do, this is interesting. You could take his first quarter rebounds to get 3. What's his Q1 rebounds looking like? No. I don't think so. Okay. So Rudy Gobert over, I'll put over 9.5 rebounds. I don't know if I necessarily want to trust him to get points. Maybe we do over 9.5 plus like 8 points. What's that going to put us at? Rudy. Where are you at, bro? That would get us to minus 110. And that's saving us a basket he has to get. Okay. I'm good with that. All right, so we're going to do Rudy, 10 plus rebounds, 8 plus points. I think he should be able to do okay against Missy today. I'll wait until the very end to lock this in, but that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. A little Rudy Gobert play here. All right, what else we got in this game that I like? We're going to start moving through with a little more quickness here. Sorry. Initially, I like to take my time, and then the props will start to flow. Okay, so in this game, what else we got? Conley's got a decent matchup to get rebounds plus assists. Edwards does too. I mean, pretty much everybody has a good matchup. Jaden McDaniels has a pretty bad matchup for rebounds. Do I really want to fade a team that fucking is the worst shooting team in the history of basketball? Not really. Probably not a smart play. So let's fade that. Conley assists 4.5. He's pretty favored to go under, which is interesting. Why would he be so favored to go under when he's probably going to play 22 minutes? What about when he plays 23 or less? Okay. I don't see him playing a ton. I think DiVincenzo gets a decent amount of minutes tonight, so I don't see any DiVincenzo props. Am I missing something here? Is he hurt? Nobody's on the injury report. Wow. This is actually going to be a very healthy game. Okay. All right. Julius Randle rebounds. This was hot for a minute, and then I put it on a slip, and he didn't hit. It was right here because this game went into overtime, and he just needed one more in overtime and couldn't get it. Look at this props madness. Similar players, 1 of 11. Oh, wow. Interesting. I'm not taking an under against Pelicans, though. Team that could put up 58 points total tonight. Zion, kind of want to go under his points. Hit rate's too good, though. This is the only thing that scares me. Is Zion's going to have the ball a bunch. I could see Rudy Gobert getting in foul trouble and then just absolutely shelling this bet. I would assume either him or Randall. One of them will get in foul trouble tonight. It's going to be one of those where we should have played an under because of that. It might be Randall. I mean, the good news for Gobert rebounds, Missy is just going to hang out underneath the basket. This dude is going to be directly underneath the basket. Wow, he's actually been scoring pretty good lately. Do I trust Eve Missy to score points? Hell no. I like fading his rebounds, but again, too juicy. 6.5. Wow. It's only minus 140 for 6.5. This feels off. I mean, even when they've been getting their asses kicked. Lost by 46, he still had 10. Lost by 29. Actually, really haven't been getting killed lately. Except for that game. A little juicy, though, at minus 140 to trust him to get rebounds. Okay. Moving on. Olynyk. Does Olynyk have a decent matchup? I do like... No, he has a terrible matchup. Maybe fade his rebounds plus assist. This would jump to 9.5. I'm on board to fade that. I'm not even opposed at this line, to be honest. He's ridiculously favored to go under. Minus 170 on Pinnacle. Could be like a side piece to a parlay. You could fade his assist there, but okay. Rudy's pretty much all I like there. Philadelphia and the Spurs. My gut always goes to Chris Paul, assist, Stephen Castle. Stephen Castle has a great matchup to get rebounds, assist, pretty decent on the point side. So 3.5 assist. Pinnacle is ridiculously on board with this. I don't mind it. We haven't really seen him hit it. What would it be if we took him some type of combo, like a Stephen Castle combo here? Decent matchup there. 8.5. That feels heavy. That feels real heavy. Harrison Barnes threes. That's always a one I like to play as well, although he has a terrible matchup tonight. If we look, 76ers give up the 7th fewest threes over the last 15 games to the power forward position. That said, ridiculously, Hard Rock loves it. Minus 180, you can get minus 140 on BetMGM. It's not bad if you want to trust him. Hit rate's good. Everything's solid here. For this one, it's just, will he take the volume? That's what I'm not really sold on, is that he'll actually take the volume. Chris Paul has a good matchup to get over 1.5 threes tonight. You can get plus money on it. Problem is he actually going to take the shots? Same thing, but everything lines up here. Really good matchup. Over the last 15 games, dead last in three-pointers allowed to point guards. So could be an avenue for Chris Paul. His assist line should be 6.5, given that Philadelphia's top 15 in fewest assists allowed, and we get 7.5. That's too high. 8.5. Wow. I mean, it's really juice, but I'll probably end up taking this under. There's a decent chance I might take that under. Let's see. This is just a bad game. I know we should not be touching this game. It's two teams that don't care, although Quentin Grimes, dude, look at this. This guy's been balling. And he's still favored to go under. Mike Conley points. I got it over 7.5 earlier. Let's see what he's got. Mike Conley points. He does. I mean, 19th. Decent matchup for points. McDaniels actually has a great matchup for points, too. We'll see what Ant does tonight. Technically, Ant's got a better matchup to just like dish, but hard to say with him. That's the only thing that kills me about the Timberwolves is you don't know what Anthony Edwards you're going to get that night. So it's difficult to predict. Like he might just come out and shoot 50 times. You don't know. Rebounds and assists, really good RA line here. RA possibility for him. But I can't take a team that I know is tanking. That's the problem with the NBA right now. I don't trust a lot of these teams. I mean, Spurs and 76ers, two teams that really probably don't want to win. I don't think either team really wants to win. Doesn't help them. What about Harrison Barnes rebounds? 3.5 maybe? Ooh, we are getting 3.5. Damn it. I told myself it was 3.5. It's a very nice angle to bet on. But let's see how he's doing with Castle. With Castle and Vassell in the lineup, that changes a lot of things. The last 10 games, yeah. Not seeing it. We've got the positional hit rate. We've got the last 15 game hit rate. If we look, 76ers 27th in rebounds allowed. I think Vassell will probably be the better option here, though. I think he's the better option, but man, look at that. He's ridiculously juiced to go under 6. Okay. Points plus assist for Castle. Kind of should be an okay play, but it's books have caught up. We were getting like 22.5, 23.5. Now it's up to 25.5. They're starting to catch up to this. All right. Does he have a good scoring matchup? I don't know why, but my brain today is just leaning towards unders. Not seeing it. Can't take it. All right, let's just fade that game. That game sucks. Okay, so this game's going to be a blowout. They're going to win by 12 million. No LaMelo Ball. Pretty much count on that. Bridges has a decent matchup to get rebounds. I just don't know if he's going to play. We had 6.5 last night. Now we're getting 7.5, and what is likely to be a ridiculously big blowout. Just too juiced. Just too juiced to actually find any value here on fading him. What about his assist? He does go over his assist when LaMelo doesn't play. Again, juice to the gills. Jeez, old Pete's. All right. Nothing there. Hartenstein rebounds pretty good. 27th. Hornets give up a ton of rebounds. I don't mind this. 9.5 I can get on board with, especially at minus 128. 10.5 in a blowout. Let's see what he does when they absolutely destroy teams. It's safe to say they're going to win by at least 15. Well, damn. Huh. Okay. That makes it more difficult. I was just thinking naturally, just take him under 10.5, but that doesn't bode well. Points. Okay. Here's our fade spot, I think. This might be the spot. How are they doing on points? They're 20th in points allowed. Damn it. And they give up a ton of assists. It's a really good spot to take a center against the Hornets. His assist's got to be 3.5. He hasn't really hit it much. He has not hit this over the last 10 games. We got a decent hit rate to fade him. Yeah. I'm going to put this on the... Am I putting this on the list? I mean, you get minus 115 to fade him. It's not bad. Defensive rank, maybe we fade his points plus assists. Combine the two things that I don't think he can do. 16.5 would make him feel a hell of a lot better. They really feel good about him getting points. I don't. I don't think he gets a ton of points tonight. It also depends on who's playing center, right? I don't think Mark Williams is going to play. Nurkic will give up a lot of points. So I guess from that line, that makes sense with that reasoning. Mark played a decent amount of minutes last night. Typically when that happens, you'll see Nurkic and Diabate get more minutes the next game. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I can take here other than Shea to just go absolutely insane. 32.5. God, I hate these games today. We're not going to have many bets. That's just ultimately what it's going to come down to. I don't want to force anything today, especially when we got NCAA basketball. We got March Madness spots. I love there. Just not seeing anything I want to push here. Technically, SGA's got a really nice matchup to get rebounds, but it's the blowout potential, man. I can't trust what he's going to do in a blowout. Do I think he's going to get 7.5 assists? No. But damn it, the odds are ridiculous. I don't even know if he gets 6.5. Yeah, I mean, look at by position. Now, SGA is a different beast. He's going to have the ball a ton. But he's not passing it a lot. Look at that. We're expecting him to get 7 assists on 40-ish some passes. I mean, this might be an under. It's probably a dumb thing to do in a huge blowout, but when they win by 15 or more, he's only hitting this line. Well, this is why. It's your head-to-head. Because he had 9 against them. He's hit it in 3 of his last 5 where they win by 15 or more. He's hit it in 5 of the last 10. What about points props? When they're crushing teams, there's no avenues here. Maybe this spot, but again, he barely went over this line. Okay. I like this. He's only over in 1 of 5 when they're absolutely crushing teams. And how many minutes was he playing? And he's still playing 34 minutes. Rebounds and assist, 11.5 under. Books are not on board with this thought process. But I kind of am. I'm going to write it on there. Like someone's got to go under. They've got too many spots here. Like Jalen Williams has a pretty good spot to get rebounds and assist. Shea has not a great matchup to get assist, honestly. He just doesn't. Got an okay matchup to get points. Which is the only thing that scares me. If his shooting's not on, he's just going to dish. And then we're screwed. What about Jalen Williams? I can't find his prop lines. All right, moving on. Detroit and Dallas. I think we're going to find some angles here. Jalen Duren should have a soft matchup to get boards. 11.5 still favored to go under. Really? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, you can see. I mean, look at similar players. 12 out of 15. The similar players have absolutely crushed. Jonas went over. Sabonis had a day. Embiid. Remember when Joel Embiid played basketball? That was good times. Evan Mobley had 11. Duren had 13 against him. Jokic went off. Okay. I don't know if I would compare Jokic and Duren. That's we're stretching it when we're talking about similar players. Miles Turner, lazy ass Miles Turner, didn't get rebounds. That makes sense. Plumlee probably didn't play a ton of minutes. Richards is an idiot. Edey went over. Brook Lopez going over on rebounds is pretty rare. Mark Williams, I would say he's fairly comparable to Mark Williams to some degree. Mark Williams doesn't foul like an idiot as much, but I could definitely see him hitting this. What about a double-double? I think double-double is the way to go here. It's probably not the greatest odds, though. But if we can get minus 130 or better, I am completely on board with taking this. I'm going to go ahead and put this bet in for Gobert. 10 plus rebounds, 8 plus points. I'm going to do 3/4 of a unit on that. We're just going to do 3/4. The blowout potential scares the hell out of me. All right, so in the Pistons game, now that we locked that bet in, if we're looking at Duren to get a double-double, minus 145. Why you got to be so juiced, dude? That's on DraftKings. I'm not sure about other books. I wish you could see double-double odds here. That is a little frustrating on here. But if you can get it for something halfway decent, And that might be one we might get it cheaper if we build it, actually. Or instead of taking him to get 12 rebounds, we just go 11. So let's go 11 rebounds and 10 points. What do we get? 11 rebounds and 10 points works out to be minus 120. So you're getting a little bit more value, but he also has to get another rebound, which doesn't sound like much, but that's actually a pretty big ask. Okay, something to keep in mind. So I'll put the Duren double-double on here as well. So we've got 4 props that we're watching right now. Cade Cunningham got a really nice matchup to get rebounds and assists tonight. So does Thompson and Harris. Actually, because let's be honest, the Mavericks are literally 1 injury away from having to forfeit a game. They have 8. That's the minimum you have to play a game in the NBA, and that's exactly how much they have. So if somebody gets hurt, I don't know how the hell that works. I guess the bet get refunded. PJ Washington under rebounds. Interesting thought. Actually has a pretty shitty matchup to get rebounds. My only problem is he might end up playing center because Jones is supposed to be the center, but he's got a bit of a sore quad. So I could see him moving into that center spot, which would really screw that bet. Den Whittle assist. I like fading old Den Whittle. Actually, I just kind of like fading him 16.5 points. So, I mean, fading Den Whittle PRA? Maybe. Looks like he's been going off. Probably not. All right, 9.5 assists. You can pretty much bank on that. Do we trust Cade to get a double-double? I mean, Pinnacle and Bovada say no. They say that is not happening, sir. And that's what's weird. Holy shit. Oh, okay, that's because it's 10.5. We about threw down like a 3-unit bet. If I was getting minus 160 on Bovada and minus 110 on DraftKings. All right, so they feel pretty decent to some degree that he's going to get a double-double tonight, which makes sense. I mean, the Mavericks suck, and he doesn't have the greatest scoring matchup. So, what's his points matchup look like here? Pretty shitty, actually. Pretty shitty. What's he done head-to-head against them? Okay, well, there's that. So much for that angle. Okay, so he's 2 for 2. All right. Do I trust him to get 27.5? No. No. Could do some type of like value play with him where you take him to get like 25 points and 9 assists and 5 rebounds, like combine all those together. Rebound line's interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking kind of take his RAs. Hasn't really been banking. I thought we were going to get 14.5. Damn it, man. Killing me. Okay, not much there. Not much there unless you want to get Froggy and take him over 9.5 assists, which I'm okay with. We just don't have similar players going over, but if we just look at guards going over against them, it's been pretty good. But we haven't seen a ton of volume in terms of like hitting double digits on them. I don't know. It's a weird slate today. A lot of teams that don't want to win. Not seeing it. So I'm going to lock in Duren 11 plus rebounds, 10 plus points, I think. I'm feeling okay about that. And then with Cade, I kind of want to take him. What do we do? The other night I said take his under in points and over in assists. That was actually like plus 250 play that hit. Kind of feeling the same way tonight, but do we really want to fade a Mavericks team that sucks? Seems like a recipe for disaster. Probably not. PJ Washington points. He's like the only bright spot on this damn team. Over 19.5 points? No. Oof. No. But he's the only player that's actually halfway decent. Klay Thompson? No. What do we think the odds are Klay doesn't make 3 threes tonight? Got a terrible matchup. Okay. Damn. Duran double-double. That's really maybe Cunningham over 9.5 assists. Boston, Utah. Already looked at this one. There's a couple of, I think there's going to be some avenues here. Tatum over rebounds and assists at 14.5. 13.5. I like this. I mean, if we know anything about Utah, they give up a ton of assists, typically to guards, but we know Tatum's going to have the ball probably more than anybody. I'm just not pulling the trigger until I know that he's actually going to play. This feels like a really good game to rest him. I just need to see the lineup. Right now, it's looking like Derek White, Holiday, Hauser, Tatum, Porzingis. You're not going to have Jaylen Brown. How does he do in games without Jaylen Brown in terms of assist? Aha, okay. Well, that's not good. What about rebounds? So basically, he really sucks without Jaylen Brown. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. So what the hell does he do? Just score a bunch? Yeah. So you take Brown out, and it's Tatum time. It's Tatum time. Problem is, Derek White has a great matchup. Holiday has a good matchup. Hauser has a good matchup. And Porzingis has a good matchup. Everybody has a good matchup to score points except Tatum, technically. But if we look here, the only thing Utah does do halfway decent on is defend the pick and roll, which is how he scores the majority of his points. So 23 of his points come via the pick and roll. Utah's very good. Actually, one of the best teams in terms of that. But everything else, they're Utah. They suck. So I don't take Tatum points over, especially at 29.5. I think that's a recipe for disaster. Is he capable of it? Sure. Not touching it. Collier, I bet we get the 3.5 rebound line. Oh, that's so hard. I want to take it. I've hit this every single time. Every time it's been 3.5 lately, I've been hitting it, and he has not missed yet. That said, it makes sense, actually. What do the Celtics do? Porzingis PRA? I like his first quarter points, actually, at 4.5 if he can get them. But what do the Celtics do? They take a fuck ton of threes. Who benefits from teams that take a shit ton of threes? Guards. Guards and forwards. Centers are the ones that don't because the ball bounces off the rim and goes further out. Good news about guys like Collier, he actually tries. He's one of the few people on this team right now, I feel, that actually puts effort forth. And if we look, pretty good. We get an okay hit rate. It's not like mind-boggling good. But 6 out of the last 10, he's over. And if we look at kind of teams like the Bulls, shoot a ton of threes. He got 6. We know the Timberwolves shoot a decent amount of threes. He got 6 against them. He got 4 against the Grizzlies. Shoot a decent amount of threes. So the only thing that concerns me is right here. He had 6 rebound chances and only got 1. And they only lost by 6. So it was a fairly close game. And he still didn't hit it. Now, what's he going to do when they lose by 36? That's what and I don't trust that he's going to get a ton of minutes because we know this team's tanking on purpose. They're the only team that's gotten fined this year for tanking. So safe to assume these bitches are tanking. We look at rebound chances a game over the last 10. He's averaging 7. So we'd be at, I don't know, man. We'd be asking him, but against the teams that shoot a bunch of threes, he's averaging 10 to 12. This is a system play for me. I'm not backing down. You're giving me plus 105? I'm doing it. I'm locking this in right now, actually, before it moves. Not that it probably won't move, but this is just more of a system play. It's going to be a half-unit system play for me. I don't love it. What's his assist at? Maybe 6.5. 10.5. Oh my God. We can get him at 9.5. rebounds plus assist. I mean, if he gets 4 rebounds, he's only got to get 6 assists. But his assist line's been bad lately. 6 ain't bad. He's over an 8 out of 10. Question is, who the hell is going to get the points? Who is he going to be assisting to? You'll have Filipowski and Kessler most likely on the court together. You'll have Sexton on the court together. My problem with Sexton on the court, I feel like he steals his assist. Where's he at? Maybe not. If anything, he's actually exactly the same. Interesting. All right. Well, I'll take his over rebounds at plus money. I think that's just a system play that's worked really well for me. So, like I said, not going to be a huge bet. We're just going to do a half a unit bet. But I already put that in. So, Collier over 3.5 rebounds. Lock that in. My man Kessler, 11.5, 12.5. What are we talking today? 11.5, and he's favored to go under. I think that's because Filipowski's been on the court with him. He definitely is going to swipe some boards from him. And they're going to get their shit blown out. That's a good hit rate, though. Head-to-head, he had 10. Okay. 10 on 19 chances. Can't trust him against a team that just fires a bunch of threes. Let's look at Porzingis PRA. So points-wise, got a great matchup. Similar players over a ton. The only thing that concerns me with him is just minutes restrictions. But how many minutes did he play? He played 29 minutes. So blowouts, I just don't know how many he's going to play. But take a look at his rebound line. 6.5, and he's favored to go under. That seems wrong. Seems auspiciously off, but the variances in the books made me think it's correct. I would just assume he was going to get boards. Okay, that's interesting. Assist-wise, 1.5. Okay, so nothing we can really bet on there. 27.5. I mean, he's got the matchup for it. The only thing is, technically, rebounds. Okay, so that makes sense why his rebound line's low. Over the last 15 games, Jazz have given up the 12th fewest rebounds, 14th fewest assists to centers. What they do give up is more threes than any other team to centers, which is why the book's already adjusted and they have this at 2.5. GG. Well played, books. Well played. All right, there goes that angle. We can see most of his points. I guess this is my fear. 30% of his points come via the 3. He's highly, highly unlikely to go over 2.5 threes. I think we can trust the books. We can trust the books here. So he's unlikely. He's going to get 6 points off of threes. So where are the other 13 points going to come from? Well, it's pretty good here. 19%. He's got a great. So the mid-range, little mid-range jumper type deal, little hook shots or whatever he does. He does have avenues there. So could he hit it? Yeah. I honestly don't. I mean, the books think he's going to hit it. So I don't mind that. And it's hard to believe he doesn't get at least 6 rebounds, a couple of assists. So it's not bad. I don't necessarily think I can get behind it, but I don't hate it. We look at similar players. I mean, they've destroyed it. Sarr is a guy that relies on the 3 ball. He's a weird center that relies on it. Holmgren, definitely not. He's a shooter, so he's not in the paint going to score a bunch of buckets. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate this. My problem with Celtics is you never know which player is going to be on fire that night. Like, it's a great team. Derek White could go off. Tatum could go off. Porzingis could go off. You can't really hammer down one person. Might be a Peyton Pritchard night. In fact, damn it. Of course, they don't have Peyton Pritchard numbers up, but safe to assume Pritchard's going to get some time today. So it might be a good spot for him. Al Horford. Old man Horford. Yeah, that's a fade for me. Okay. So we got to play out of that. All right. Cleveland and Phoenix. Couple of things that just instantly stood out to me. KD to go off. Books don't love KD to go off. I mean, you're telling me I can get KD for 23.5? I feel like he's torched this team before. Last year, he torched them. This year, not so much. My issue with KD, I've taken a couple of KD props over the last couple of weeks. His first half has been painful to watch. I think in every one, he had less than 10 points in the first half. And then third quarter came and he just popped off for like 12. So, not the player I love. Another one that stuck out to me, Nick Richards under points. Under 11.5. Yeah, I'm locking this in. I'm locking this in like right now before this moves. So I'm going to take his under 11.5 on BetMGM at minus 125. I don't trust him to get points. His minutes have been inconsistent. Cavaliers do a pretty decent job at limiting points to centers, right? You got Jarrett Allen, you got Mobley down there. So this is one that I am locking in immediately before it moves. All right, Nick Richards under 11.5 points, minus 125 on BetMGM. And I'm going to do a full unit on that play. Done. You got KD 22.5 this morning. Oof, that is low. All right. So locked and loaded on Nick Richards under 11.5 points tonight. Rebound line 8.5. I mean, yeah, it's pretty juiced towards the under too. I don't mind taking his under 8.5 rebounds, minus 128 on FanDuel. I think that's a really nice play as well. I don't think he does anything against the Cavs tonight. I think what happens is he gets himself in foul trouble. They should be working the ball in on Allen because Richards is soft. So I think Jarrett Allen could have a nice night tonight. Points line's at 13.5. Little high for the boy. Little high. 12.5. Maybe. No, I don't want to get behind it. Thinking double-double. I mean, Richards is soft as they come. He's soft as soft serve ice cream. Books don't really love him to get rebounds. Interesting. So they're thinking, and you can tell stories. Like, you got to read into the story. If they're not thinking Allen's going to get rebounds, let's see if, I bet Mobley isn't either. They're thinking 3 balls. They're thinking they're going to be raining down threes tonight. There's no way. Like, I bet on a lot of Cavs games. One of them is favored to go over almost every time, right? It's either Mobley at 8.5 or at 9.5. He's favored to go under. Allen will be at 10.5, 11.5, but favored to go under. Like, there'll be a big variance if they're not. Right here, we're getting the exact same variance. So they're thinking Devin Book going to be shooting tonight. What's Booker's line? 26.5 and favored to go over. All right. I mean, that's how I'm reading it anyway. They're reading Booker's going to try to go off tonight. And he has a terrible matchup too. Interesting. So that tells me KD 3s over 2.5. Thoughts? Books hate it. Books said, hell no. You're crazy. Okay. What about Booker? These lines don't make sense. Okay. Booker over 2.5 threes. I kind of like it. I mean, if I'm reading the novel of this game based on betting trends and lines, someone's going to be drilling some threes tonight. Booker doesn't have a great matchup for it, though. No. Although I don't know if that stops him from shooting. They're plus 8.5, too. So I can see them getting behind. They got to start trying to make some threes to get back in this game. This is why I love sports betting. Got to use critical thinking skills. Think ahead. But I mean, Durant has a beautiful matchup tonight. I just can't get away from KD. Can't get away from KD. Look at this spread. So DK's got his PRA at 35.5. Just lightly favored to go under. It's almost 50-50. And then you come over here. BetMGM's got it at 33.5 at minus 125. Just a hair favored to go over. Pinnacle, very sharp book. Feels decent that he's going to go over 34. Thank you. Kevin Durant over 33.5 PRA. I'm liking that. What's his RA line? We could look at that too. You don't want to take his points just because he has been a bit sporadic with the shooting. Favored to go under. So we're getting 10. So 24.5. Good old BetMGM. Their lines are just like so ass backwards compared to everybody else. So like Pinnacle and Bovada are like, yeah, it's like 50-50. We think he might go over, but we're not sure. Pinnacle or BetMGM's like, he's going over for sure. So there's probably actually EV to take him under 23.5 points at plus 110. If you're an EV person. I don't know. I see him having a big night though. Cavs got to step up, need a win. That's just how I see it. And I kind of like it. It's kind of a correlation play. You could combine them both. Nick Richards under, KD over. That'd be pretty good. All right, what are we looking at for his PRA? Minus 125 on BetMGM. Doesn't make sense, man. BetMGM is the weirdest book ever. All right. Anything else we like? Either Allen or Mobley, somebody's getting 10 rebounds tonight. Guaranteed. The matchup on paper says it's going to be Allen. And I agree. BetMGM says, nope, plus 110. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Jared Allen, over 9.5 rebounds at plus 110. I mean, how can you turn that one down? I love BetMGM. If you don't have a BetMGM account, you're missing out because their lines are just fucking ridiculously off. I mean, am I missing something here? He only had 11 rebound chances, and he played 37 minutes, so they're popping threes. I get that, but they're going to have to drive tonight. All right, we got 2 more games left. See if there's any crazy injury news, which I did check earlier. Cleveland should be playing their normal starting rotation. So some of these I did glance at, so I just knew. So that's why I haven't gone back and forth on them. No Bradley Beal, which is interesting. Typically you go Tyus Jones over assists, which I did that. It's a bit of a system play. And he absolutely sucked. I mean, he sucked. I didn't look at Jerome. Or I didn't look at Garland. My God, do your due diligence. Technically, Ty Jerome has a great matchup to get points tonight. And I think it's going to should get plenty of time. They don't love it. I'm not really sure why. Okay. I mean, he's got an absolute great matchup. I don't know if I agree with this. I don't know if I agree. And then let's just look at Tyus since I'm already here. 3.5 assists. Dear God. Over 2.5 rebounds. You can get it plus 1. Interesting. Look at this variance. So DK, over 3 rebounds, says plus 120. And our friends at BetMGM are like, plus 165. So that I would assume that's a decent EV play there. I don't trust Tyus Jones to grab anything, but there's EV there if you're interested. All right, Denver, Portland. I think I saw, no Joker. You could tell by the freaking spread. You can just instantly tell people are going to be out. Jamal Murray's a game time decision. That means Westbrook would be playing. Instantly, I go to assist with Mr. Westbrook. Problem is, Portland does a good job against guards. 7th in rebounds, 8th in assists. So they do limit guards pretty heavily. What they do is give up a lot of points to guards. So this is one we got to wait, see exactly who's playing. But we know for a fact Joker's out. Although I say that, and then we knew for a fact the other day Kessler was out, and then all of a sudden they changed him to in, which is a dick move. So We got Aaron Gordon's going to be playing center. That's soft. Clingan rebounds? Is there an avenue here? Maybe. There might be an avenue for Clingan rebounds. The Nuggets are very middle of the road when it comes to rebounds, 16th. What they do give a ton of is assist. So I already think, in my mind, Simmons isn't the assist guy. It's Denny. Denny's the dude. And the books. I bet we probably could have got this. Probably could have got this at a really good value early this morning. I bet at one point this was probably minus 120, which would have been a steal. Now we've lost the value. Do I think Denny's going to go ham on the boards? Maybe. Maybe. He's got a pretty bad matchup. Actually, he probably has the best matchup for rebounds. Him and Clingan both have the best matchups. Now, the problem is, he's going to have Peyton Watson on him, I guess. Younger guy, decent defender. Probably going to be able to limit his points. If I had to guess, they might be able to lock him down from scoring. But I'm not trusting that. We look at the last 5 games. No. Rebounds and assists, always good with Denny. I mean, this is a broken Denver team that is the underdog today. So Portland is the favorite. Do I think anybody else is going to go nuts? I mean, Kamara has a pretty decent matchup to get assists, but not rebounds. Kamara's going to be going up against Michael Porter. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking Denny over 12.5 rebounds plus assist. I'm going to put that on my watch list. That's not going to be an official play, but this is one I want to watch. Need to just do a little more research before I full dive into this one. Okay. Always like looking at this guy's rebound line. Sometimes it's off. He really hasn't been getting a ton of boards. But if we look at Props Madness, similar players are over. Yeah, probably not the guy we want to fade today. Simon Points. This guy's always going to be their point guy. 21.5, stupid low for him. In my opinion, over the last 10 games, he's been absolutely on fire. Over in 6 of 10, but we're talking 21.5. Over an 8 of 10 over this line. In a tight game, who else is going to be scoring? I mean, technically, Kamara has a great matchup to score. Sharp has a good matchup. Clingan has a good matchup, but if you're making a living trusting Clingan to score points, you're fucking broke. What about Kamara points? 12.5? No, I don't trust him. I don't trust you. Sharp to get 17.5. Interesting. That's a hard no for me. High value. All right, the ESPN bet feels pretty good that he's going to get some assists. Honestly, we already know this team dishes out a ton of assists. Look at this assist line. He had 5 against them, 4 potentials. He's playing a decent amount of minutes. We don't think he's going to get 3? Really? Huh. Okay. Again, I'm just going to throw this on my watch list. I gotta read into this one a little bit more. This is going to require some more advanced research, but over 2.5 assists is a lean here. We got a watch list that's pretty long now. But there's value here. Minus 130. ESPN bet minus 160. FanDuel's minus 152. Sportsbet's basically like FanDuel for Australia. Caesars is a decently sharp book. Got this at minus 142. So we're getting some value at minus 130 here. A little bit of value. Not much. Anything else we like? 8.5 assists. This kind of tells me that they are not expecting Murray to play. Interesting. All right, we got one. Wait, there was one other thing I wanted to look at. Christian Braun. Christian Braun rebounds without Jokic out. Who is benefiting the most? Well, it ain't this guy. but he's still ridiculously BetMGM. Like, yep, he's going to get it, guys. Don't worry that he's only done it one time in his last 7. Today's the day. Today is the day. What has Gordon and Porter done in terms of rebounds without Joker? Hard to imagine that if Aaron Gordon's playing center, like that says, he doesn't get 7 rebounds. This is a hard one to imagine. Okay. So if he's not getting it, how many is Porter going to get? Someone's got to get rebounds. And they don't love Porter. It's got to be Gordon. It's Aaron Gordon. So if Aaron Gordon plays, over 6.5 rebounds. Without Joker. If he's playing center. So another one to keep an eye on. That's another game time once you know the lineup and who's playing where. All right, last game on the card. Clippers and the Grizzlies. That was a good game. Good game. Fairly tight spread. Nothing too insane. I'm already looking at Edey under rebounds. Where are you at, Edey? Oh, 6.5? No, I'm not going to fade him at 6.5. 7.5 is ridiculously juiced. Damn it. I was hoping fade the 6.5. So you've got the fastest paced team against one of the slower paced teams. Typically with Edey, he's going to play more minutes against teams that have slower pace. Right? So if we look, let's look, I don't know, we can keep it at 30. Teams that play at a really slow pace. His numbers are always better because his minutes are going to be higher because he's fucking tall and slow. So when they play in these fast-paced games, they go with quicker center. Zion ruled out for tonight. Oh my God. That might hurt the Rudy Gobert. Or it might help him. Hell, it probably helps him. So we're going to circle back to that one now. We know that Zion's out. So anyway, we know his minutes are going to be higher because he can keep up with the pace of the game. Going up against Zubac, not a good spot to score points. That said, books feel decent about the 7.5. I'm cool fading him at 8.5, but I need to make sure with this pace of game, he's going to play at least 20 minutes. He's going to play somewhere between 20 and 25, I would say. Yeah. That's where it gets kind of tricky to fade him. When we know he's actually going to get the minutes, he does pretty damn good in those spots. I don't know if we can fade his points, actually. If anything, this over 7.5, I guess, but I'm not taking it. But look how good Clippers are against centers. We need this goofy, tall bastard to get some fouls. Under 8.5 points would be my... That's just a play I like. Okay. BetMGM's like, yes, you're right. Minus 150. Bet online minus 158. Bet 365 feels pretty good. Minus 155. Sharper Book, Pinnacle, not as on board. Caesar is a decently sharp book. I think that's an avenue. Edey under 8.5. I'm just going to throw it on the watch list. And then I'll firm this up probably in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, it's absolutely free. I don't know why you're not, but link is down below and you can join that. Already posted a couple of watch list plays this morning too. All right, so Edey under 8.5. I don't mind that. His rebound line, we can't touch. I was just curious, what is it to fade him? Not worth it. That's what it is. It's not worth it. All right, Q1 rebounds. That's crazy. That is crazy. That kind of shows you where you're at. What about fading first quarter points? I didn't even think about that. That's why, because the line sucks. Okay, that's out of the question. All right, Desmond Bane's got a terrible... all of his stuff looks bad today. If anything, I would fade his PRA. What are we getting? Probably 35.5, 34.5. I might know these lines. I might look at these lines too much when I know most of them. I can project pretty damn accurately what they're going to be. Let's see. Yeah, if anything, I would fade him. Has he had any head-to-head against them? Was Ja out? Yeah, Ja was out in that one. This is with Ja, without Ja. Okay. Pretty favored to go 5.5. I mean, that's interesting. Pinnacle really loves him to get 6 rebounds, which I can totally see. DraftKings, we're all right. And then FanDuel's at minus 138. Problem is the hit rate's bad. If the hit rate were a little better, I'd be on board with this. But I think that's a potential look. I'm not going to put it on my card, but I think that's a solid look, actually. Without Ja, really not crushing this line, to be honest. Over in 10 of 15. Now, this team doesn't give up a lot of assists. This team does. So he kind of had a shit game there. Doesn't have a good matchup to get assist. Maybe he does. We look by position, he does. Okay, talk to me, Goose. Bovada, pretty sharp book. Pinnacle, pretty sharp book. They feel pretty good about this. DK does not. I kind of like it. I don't have the numbers to support this bet in terms of last 15. We're looking at last 15, it says no. But if we're just looking at pure like amount of times he's going to be touching the ball, it's extremely high. He's going to be averaging 50-ish passes that game to get 6 assists. I mean, that's reasonable. Question is, who is he going to be assisting to? Maybe Kennard? Kennard threes. Probably not Edey down low. Jaren Jackson, Wells. That's the thing. I don't know if I trust anybody to get the assist for him. I don't trust Wells to score, even though he has a great matchup. Jackson, I can trust him to score, but you usually don't get assist off of him. Kennard catch and shoot threes. Maybe you can rely on a couple there. I think I got to put this on the card, though. I mean, we're just getting too big a line discrepancy here. I just tend to trust Pinnacle and Bovada. They're just sharper books. FanDuel's pretty sharp, too. I mean, they've got this slightly favored. And I just think DraftKings is off here. Now, the problem is the hit rate just doesn't agree. But that's why we're seeing the 5.5 baked in instead of a 7.5. Typically, when Ja's been out, this number's been like 7.5. So, I'm on board with that. Okay. Harden assist. Always got to take a peek-see at Mr. Harden's assist. He's got a decent matchup. 19th. We know that the Grizzlies play at a very fast pace. They are the fastest paced team in the NBA. Clippers, we already talked about it. 22nd in pace. Not as quick. But let's see what he does when he plays against teams that are at a pretty high clip. I imagine this number gets a lot better. So let's say opponent pace. We'll do top 10. Not as good as I thought, actually. I was expecting a really high hit rate. This is surprisingly low, actually. Does he have a good points matchup? That's the only thing I look at for Harden. He has a terrible matchup to get points. Terrible matchup to get points tonight. So if he's not hitting his points props, he's going to hit his assist props. Look at that. Focus on these set of games right here that are all red. So let's go February 12th and back. So that's 8 games. He did not hit his points in 7 of those. But he hit his assist in 7 of the 8. So if he's not scoring, he's assisting. You can pretty much bank on that. Problem is, damn, he's got a good spot to get 3-pointers. Which is scary, but look at similar players. 2 of 11, 5 of 15. There you go. Not a ton of research needed. Give me over 8.5 at minus 132 official play. Now, these scare me. When you find a play this fast, those tend to scare me. But I'm not going to pass that up. Like you can see, if he doesn't get points, see, he got points here, didn't get assist. It's like he's going to do one or the other. This guy's going to have the ball all the damn time. So, locking that one in, faux show. I think that's it, guys. I think I said I wanted to circle back to that Pelicans game and see how Zion being out impacted this line. We did get some positive movement here. It's not on DK, so we'll see what DK has. But in terms of official plays that we are putting on the card, so James Harden over 8.5 assists, minus 132 on FanDuel. We're going to do Desmond Bane over 5.5 assists, minus 115 on DraftKings. Edey is a watch list play. Jarrett Allen over 9.5 rebounds, plus 110. I'm going to make that a watch list play for now. Collier over. So we got Nick Richards under 11.5 points. I think I got that for minus 125 on BetMGM. I'll have to go back and check my bet slip, but that's an official play. So we got 4 official plays. And then we're going to throw in Rudy. We'll just do 4 official plays. So those plays, I'll run through them because I know it gets a little confusing. Nick Richards, under 11.5 points. We are doing Collier over 3.5 rebounds at plus money. We're doing Desmond Bane over 5.5 assists. And we're doing James Harden over 8.5 assists. So 4 plays. And we've got about 9 or 10 on the watch list that I am going to keep track of and monitor throughout the day, and maybe put those on my card as well. So appreciate you guys tuning in. This was this was a long stream, a little over an hour, I think. So I like doing these. These are kind of fun, just kind of going through in real time and looking at plays. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, whatever, all that good shit. And I'll catch you guys next live stream or video.